What's up, guys? Ridge Trooper Bash back in the shop, going for round 2 with my all-new custom M2C Mega Kraton XL build. Once again, huge shout out to Mitch and Avery Looper with M2C Racing for creating this monster. With just over a 22-inch wheelbase, this is definitely super planted and capable of getting the power down. Already went over all the specs and some kind of detailed information in my last video, but today we're going to try a different power setup. A lot of guys online have been curious how the Castle system compares to the Hobbywing Max4. Both are pricey, high-end power setups. The Mega Kraton XL did awesome with this Castle 25 series. But for today, we're going to try the Hobbywing Max4 setup. Again, this is the 70, 125, 560 kV, the Castle being a 520 kV. Obviously, these motors are both gigantic, the Hobbywing being a little bit thicker and a little bit shorter. Both of these motor options are designed for 1/5 and 1/4 scale application. You guys will recall the Max4 is the same exact power setup I had in my Mega Kraton. Again, that rig was about a 1/2 inch longer than the stock Kraton 8S, this being almost 3 inches longer. I think I got 2 3/4 when I measured the chassis. Sticking with the same exact gearing I had with the Castle and with my Mega setup. Once again, this is a 42 tooth pinion and I've got a 39 tooth spur. You'll notice there's definitely way more clearance up front running the Max4 setup. And again, you've got the steel sliding block to go ahead and adjust your mesh depending on which pinion you're going to run. Both of the setups are censored. From my experience, this thing is butter smooth. I really do like the Hobbywing sensor cable. Obviously, with the wires coming up the side of the can, along with the sensor cable, this design's a little easier to fit in the truck. Again, this motor is about a pound lighter than that monster Castle. Max4 ESC, however, is definitely heavier than the Cobra 5 HV. I think there's about 300 grams difference on the scale. I will say so far, with just a quick street shakedown, this rig definitely feels more balanced with the Max4 setup. I think it's just because of the extra weight of the ESC. The left to right balance when cornering just feels a little bit tighter. You'll notice the ESC length is almost the same with them side by side, but the girth and the width of the Max4 is significantly more. Again, the Max4, they list their ratings, 300 amp continuous and I think 2000 burst. I'm honestly not sure what the Cobra 5 is rated to. Really couldn't find the amperage specs on the Cobra 5 online. No question this Castle had tons of power. That being said, guys, I really kind of like this setup. I've got plenty of room up front. The left to right balance actually feels quite a bit better with the Max4 in here. Obviously, you're going to have Castle fans and Hobbywing fans. I did have some glitching out there and some power cuts. That could have been the little Castle on-off switch they've stuck with for all these years. I definitely prefer the switch Hobbywing comes with. It's really nice having the set button. If you don't have your program box with you, you can just kind of go through the settings manually. I do prefer their sensor cable as well. It kind of disconnects right in the center. And it's got a pretty thick housing. It's easy to just stabilize here on the brace. The only hassle I had with the Cobra 5 is kind of changing the settings. The receiver box on this ARRMA is basically buried deep underneath there. You kind of have to take off your whole ESC. And again, that's to use their Castle link. You got to use your ESC wire to plug that baby in. I honestly prefer the Hobbywing setup, just plugging the program box right up in front. Again, the Cobra 5 did run nice and cool, as did the motor. Of course, it's going to be about 100 degrees today. I was fortunate to get out last time. It was maybe 75, 80 with a nice breeze. Just like with my Mega, this sucker feels ultra smooth. Plenty of power. Just feels like the weight kind of shifted more towards the center. I did weigh my Castle setup and the Max4 setup. This really only sheds about 3 to 4 ounces of weight, but the overall balance feels absolutely sweet. Once again, this is definitely the biggest custom ARRMA that I've ever built, and the biggest in existence as far as I know of. My plan today, guys, is head back to Folsom Lake. Again, it is going to be about 20 degrees hotter today. We'll probably top out at 100. Just kind of want to do a direct comparison of how this sucker handles in the same terrain. I'll be rocking the same Proline MX57s, the same exact packs I ran last time. We'll just have to see how this sucker rips. Again, guys, I think I got 66, 67 miles an hour with the Max4 setup. Oh. I don't know, guys, this feels like it's got more power. Could just be the weight distribution, I'm not really sure. Oh, that was a pretty hard roll. Yeah, she definitely feels nice and balanced, guys. All right, time to check the temps, guys. I don't want to sound biased, guys, but especially at slow speeds, you just kind of throttle the brake. She does feel way smoother than the Castle setup. Guys, so 120 is at the front of the can. Yeah, looks like a 113 on the ESC. Not bad considering it's like almost 100 degrees out here. No tagging boulders, guys. That's the golden rule out here. That and driftwood. Yeah, she flies nice, guys. Ooh. Alright guys, I think that's it. Put a pretty good test on her today. Absolutely love the handling of this longer Mega Kraton XL. She's just ultra stable at high speed, killer drifting, and just gets that power right down to the ground. Once again, because these rigs are so modular, guys, don't be intimidated to do a build like this. It's fundamentally a chassis swap, getting in your longer drive shafts and adding the longer brace ends. Super stoked with this Hobbywing Max4 setup. Definitely not going to knock the Castle setup. That had gobs of power as well. I will say the Hobbywing's way easier to program, and I'm plenty happy with the power this thing puts out. Overall, I'd say this sucker feels way more balanced. I did end up taking another temperature, and I got the can up to 140. In my ESC, I got up to about 120. Again, that's with a busted fan. Anything below 150 is fine. The choice of electronics is ultimately up to you guys. But like I've said before, 12S is super addicting. Once again, huge thanks to Mitch and Avery Looper with M2C Racing. All right, guys, until next time.